Hello, dear fans, friends, and subscribers. This is your host Ram, welcoming you to your daily edition of Cricket Happenings. And on this part of the Cricket Happenings show, it's the the third day's play in the first Test match between Bangladesh and Sri Lanka, where now it was the turn of the Sri Lankans to really go and start amassing runs, and that's what they precisely did. Mendis and De Silva definitely missed their double centuries, but nevertheless they made big hundreds, and they kept the Bangladesh on the field, with Sri Lanka closing at 504 for 3, just trailing by 9 runs. So I'll be talking about the third day's the third day's proceedings at Chittagong, and then the Big Bash League semi-finals. The second semi-finals was played today, and what a match we had. The hero was Ben Lawlin. Ben Lawlin was the bowler, and all that Kieron Pollard, 100 times, I would say 99 times out of 100, one would have trusted Kieron Pollard to send a length ball which was bowled by Ben Lawlin of the Melbourne Renegades. Melbourne Renegades was what Pollard was representing. So Kieron Pollard was facing the last delivery from Ben Lawlin. It was a length ball, and Kieron Pollard failed to connect it, and that resulted in Adelaide Strikers winning by 1 run against Melbourne Renegades in the second semi-final and marching into the finals. So it's going to be Hobart Hurricanes versus Adelaide Strikers in the finals of the Big Bash League, and both have never won a Big Bash League, so it's a special moment for both the teams. Right. So, and also right now while I'm talking to you, the Under-19 World Cup finals is underway between India and Australia. Australia are trying to slowly recover right now after dealt some blows by the Indian seamer Ishan Parel, and then Shiva taking a wicket. As right now as I'm talking to you, the Australia Under-19 winning the toss and electing to bat here at in the World Cup finals Under-19 at Mount Managwini. Gunny is right now 103 for 3. We are in the 22nd over. Uppal and Merlo are slowly making amends for the 3 early dismissals that happened. So we'll come back to that. So we will keep an eye on this and keep updating you as and when any wicket falls. But first, let's get on to the Bangladesh versus Sri Lanka match and look at what really happened there. So Sri Lanka resumed their overnight innings with Kusal Mendis and Dhananjay De Silva at the crease, and they also went to a very big partnership. In the process, they broke a few records as well. As Dhananjay De Silva was absolutely flowing with his strokes. There was no doubt about it. He just continued from where he left off yesterday, and as I said, he was having some nice dabs, some nice cuts, nice driving, sometimes lofting the ball over the infielders. And Kusal Mendis was one who was pretty quiet by the time, till such time Dhananjay De Silva was at the crease. Kusal Mendis was a bit quiet because he was definitely trying to get into top-notch form, which he definitely did with this 308 runs partnership that happened between Kusal Mendis and Dhananjay De Silva. And then finally Mustafizur Rahman was the one who dismissed Dhananjay De Silva for a very well played 173 with 21 fours and 1 6. But once Dhananjay De Silva was gone, look at what happened. Kusal Mendis transformed his game to something which was a very attractive sight, and that was to take the attack to the bowlers by spanking them down the ground, spanking them. As you know, Kusal Mendis is a very strong batsman through the onside. He has the tendency to shuffle around the offside and send the balls onto the onside. But after Dhananjay De Silva was gone, we saw a different Kusal Mendis who really got into top gear. At the other end, Roshan Silva was giving him company, but Roshan Silva was definitely playing in a sedate manner, but Kusal Mendis was turning the game on with his strokes, and he also started playing some nice offside strokes as well, and Sri Lankan score really started moving along very steady, very nicely to 415. So that was the partnership between Kusal Mendis and Roshan De Silva, which took the score from 308 to 415. So 107 runs added. And then Kusal Mendis, one has seen that this has been a problem area for Kusal Mendis. Dhananjay De Silva, I forgot to tell you that Dhananjay De Silva got his highest score in Test cricket when he scored 173. But Kusal Mendis was 196 not out, and Taijul Islam, the left-arm spinner, was the bowler, and Kusal Mendis trying to loft Taijul Islam and Mushfiqur Rahim taking the catch. Now, Kusal Mendis could have been more circumspect at that stage and probably gone to 200 and attempted such a stroke. He has done this in the past as well, and again, if I'm not wrong, it was against Bangladesh where he made 193, but now this happens to be Kusal Mendis' highest score in Test cricket, 196 of 22 fours with 2 sixes. But the refreshing thing for Sri Lanka is that Kusal Mendis has returned back to top-notch form, and that could be great news for the Sri Lankans. Roshan Silva was carrying on. He was joined in by the skipper Dinesh Chandimal, and both once again another partnership started forming at that time. From 415, they took the score to close at 504. So definitely they are inching towards the 100th century partnership tomorrow morning, I reckon. Roshan Silva was very impressive. Really played, I would say, played in a very orthodox fashion, as he was not out on 87, 5 fours and 1 6, and definitely eyeing a maiden Test century tomorrow. Dinesh Chandimal, the skipper, was not out on 37 with 1 boundary, as Sri Lanka closed the day at 504 for 3, 9 runs only separating them from taking the lead. And now, at one point of time where one saw Bangladesh were on the ascendant, now we can clearly say that Sri Lankans on the ascendant. Sri Lanka Sri Lankans are the ones who are going to bat last on this pitch, and they know for a fact that playing on this pitch on the last day could really cause some problems. So now what Sri Lanka would do, I won't be surprised if Sri Lanka really prolong this particular inning. They still have some batting to come. I mean, Dikwala, Pereira, Hera can all bat, So basically, I think their primary goal, and I won't be surprised if you have some big scores, probably in excess of 700 runs on this feather bed of a wicket as far as till today is concerned. But one does not know what would happen in the coming 2 days. Mustafizur Rahman, 1 for 88, 1 wicket apiece to Mehdi Hassan Miraz and Taijul Islam. I'm not going to go into those details. So that is the match situation, and one is hoping that, one would be really hoping to see as to whether the pitch really cracks up on the 4th day, because there was some grip and bounce yesterday, but something, I don't think it was something which was evident today. So that is something it will be interesting to watch. So that's the 4th day. So now let me talk about the second semi-final of the Big Bash League that happened between Adelaide Strikers on their home turf in Adelaide, and the opposition was Melbourne Renegades. Adelaide Strikers actually got going in a wonderful manner. In fact, they raised 178 for 5. It was thanks in the main to Travis Head, who hammered 85 runs of 57 deliveries with 8 fours and 1 6. He was not out in the end. Dean making 98 of 8 balls with 1 4 and 2 sixes. Weatherall making 57 of 43, 7 fours and 1 6. Ingram 1, Wells 5, Lehman 2. Ness was not on 4. 178 for 5 was what Adelaide Strikers put on the board. Cooper had 3 overs, none for 28. Tremaine 1 for 36. Many 1 for 21. Bravo 147. Wildermuth 1 for 37. All of the quota of 4 overs, barring Cooper at 3 overs 28. Pollard bowled 1 over, no maiden 1 for 8. Now Melbourne Renegades in the chase, lost an early wicket in the form of Cameron Wade, who continued to struggle with the form. He was gone very cheaply for 2. After that was M.S. Harris, who made 45-29, that is 4 fours and 2 sixes. Ludeman making 28 of 20, that was 3 fours, 1 6. Cooper was there, not out on 36 of 29 balls. Bravo was out for 26, but Kieron Pollard, even though he made 29 of 21 unbeaten runs with 1 4 and 1 6, it was of absolutely no use, because Kieron Pollard could not connect to the last ball that was bowled by Ben Lawlin. In fact, Travis Head decided to press in Ben Lawlin to bowl the final over, and Ben Lawlin definitely did a great job for his skipper, because what he did is that it's so easily could have either disappeared for a boundary or a 6 from one of the hardest hitters in world cricket today, Kieron Pollard. But unfortunately that didn't happen, and that would have come as a great shocker for this team, which is the Melbourne Renegades, which just missed it by a whisker, I would say, to enter the BBL finals. So Ben Lawlin bowled a length ball, and unfortunately Kieron Pollard had to just take a real big swing at it. He did it, and he could not connect, and that was the reason Melbourne Renegades fell 1 run short of the target. And Travis Head 1 for 27, Nasser 145, Siddle 2 overs none for 22, Rashid Khan 4 overs 1 for 28, was spanked for a beautiful 6 by Kieron Pollard over long on. Ben Lawlin was the hero. 4 overs no maiden 1 for 31, 2 overs for 19 for Colin Ingram. Travis Head was man of the match. And as I said, it's Hobart Hurricanes versus the Adelaide Strikers in the finals of the Big Bash League in Australia. And as I said, both the teams have never won the Big Bash League, and what a great moment for them, that both would be vying for the crown on Sunday in the Big Bash League finals. Now, the next thing I'm going to talk about, I'm going to take a live cricket update now. I'm going to New Zealand at Mount Glenelg. The Under-19 World Cup finals is being contested between the Aussies and the Indians. And right now, when I'm talking to you, the Australians are placed at 119 for 3. We are at the halfway mark right now, and one has to credit Uppal and Merlo to have really taken up the challenge there. They have consolidated they are still consolidating, I would say, the Australian innings. After the Australian innings, they had lost, they lost pretty quickly. They were 59 for 3 at one stage, and now the score looks a bit healthy than before, as this pair of J. Merlo is batting on 28 of 42, that was 3 fours, and Uppal 31 of 47 with 3 fours are doing a fine job over here right now. Shivam maybe was a bit costly, but Ishan Parel took 2 wickets, and Kumar Nagarkoti, as the commentators were talking about Nagarkoti, he's the one who hits the 140 mark on a very, very consistent rate. And I can tell you one thing, that the commentators, Ian Bishop, Simon Dool, and all the other commentators were really raving about Nagarkoti, saying that he is an impressive bowler for India, who is really turned the game on as far as Indian pace bowling is concerned in this Under-19 World Cup. So that's the match situation right now. So it's moved to 121 for 3 in the 26th over, and I think the Australians are definitely doing well, because right now they have added a valuable 62 runs, and the consolidation is happening right now. So, well, dear fans and subscribers, I'm trying to see whether there is any other cricket news that I could speak to you right now. As I'm talking, let's have a look at what's happening. Let's have a look at what's happening. The ball, right now as I'm talking to you, the score for the Aussies 121 for 3. Well, I'm talking to you, Roy has come on to bowl, and the very first delivery, Merlo has actually dispatched it for a boundary. Nice shot from Merlo, and Merlo is really doing well here for sure. And so that was the first ball bowled by Raw of the 27th over, which started, and that was dispatched by Merlo for 4. So now, in the meanwhile, we'll keep an eye on the Aussies versus India, the Under-19 World Cup. The next delivery from Roy to Merlo, only 1 run taken. So the score remains on 100 and I think it's 126 for 3 right now. So that's the match situation right now as we are talking over here. And other than that, well, Faf du Plessis of South Africa. I would say South Africa have suffered a huge blow now because, as you know, AB de Villiers is out of the first 3 ODIs, and now comes a bitter blow to them with their captain. And du Plessis, one would remember, he scored 120 in that loss against India, and he is out due to injury. He's not only out for 1 or 2, but he's out for the entire series against India, and I think it's a big shocker for South Africa now. And he has fractured his finger, and he's out, and he would be replaced by Farhan Behardine, and they will also like Klaassen, who could be a wicketkeeper as well. Other than that, I'm trying to see whether there's any other news that I need to cover. Andre Russell of West Indies is set to return after a long ban, due to a long ban, as you would remember. So he will be coming back into the fold right now. Well, dear fan subscribers, just before going, I will give you the last update. Just before going, the score is still stationary at 126 for 3. We are in the 27th over. Merlo is 34 not out. Uppal is 31 not out. As I wind up this cricket show by bidding you all a very good night.